Hi, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Welcome to the weekly meeting of the Rotary Club of Barrie. Things go better when you are here. A special welcome to our visiting Rotarians and guests. Love having you here. You're welcome all the time. Please stand for the start of our meeting. O Canada, and a toast to the Queen. For good food, for good friends, and for the opportunity to provide service above self through food, we are thankful.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot, and all our sons command. With glowing hearts, we see the light path to North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on God for a lead. Oh, people land, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee.
So beautiful. I just love those kids. Cheers. Toast to the Queen. Okay. So our beacon editor this week is Todd Armstrong. And we will thank Paul Markle for the beacon last week as soon as we receive it. And I'm sure we will enjoy it. And Todd or Paul, that's a little bit of pressure for you there. So extra special now. Let's see, birthdays and anniversaries. We have Jerry Norman, June 16th. Our anniversaries are Heather and Bernie Still, 42 years on June 16th. And we have club anniversaries. We have Aaron Hess, 1 year, June 11th. Let's see, Lisa McKee, 6 years, June 11th. Dean Bell and Doug Jernigan and Ben Lapshanoff, all on a June 13th. 9 years, 13 years, and 2 years. Wallace McKay, 20 years on June 14th. And Adam Smith, 16 years on June 16th.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, you gotta love, is everybody now doing, after happy birthday this? So gotta love it. So we have a busy schedule today. One thing to note is at the end of the meeting, we will be starting the fishing raffle. So it will be on YouTube. So if you miss it, you'll be able to watch it again and again to your heart's desire. But at the end, we will fill you in on the rest. So stick around right to the end. We will hop right into our amazing awards. I'm going to pass it over to Gary Kopp.
Thank you, President Deb. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it's my pleasure today to present the Military Service Above Self Award. The Military Service Above Self Award can be a difficult award to select winners for, given that the very nature of the jobs that these people find themselves in requires a level of commitment most of us do not have to answer to. That said, this year's candidate was easy to identify. Master Corporal Bruce Snyder was recommended to us by Major Gabriela Van Reyes and comes to us from the Canadian Forces Ammunition Depot located in Angus. Let me take a moment to read to you some of the excerpts from the recommendation letter that we received on his behalf. Master Corporal Snyder selflessly offers his assistance and support to peers and subordinates at work and during evenings and weekends to ensure that unit members in need are taken care of, resulting in increased unit morale and cohesiveness. He takes a genuine interest in the personal lives of peers and subordinates, despite having very fragile moments in his own personal life. He listens, helps, and never judges anyone. He has helped members get to their appointments or returned from them when they have been incapable. He has taken time from his weekends or late nights to drive to Toronto for airport runs to save his peers money and to simply have them have a more enjoyable ride back. He volunteers daily to help someone complete their tasks while his tasks may only see completion after hours. Despite having a very busy household with a working spouse and a special needs toddler requiring regular specialist appointments, he still manages to put in all this extra time to assist others. On several occasions during the COVID pandemic, he supported those under quarantine by driving hours on end for groceries, prescriptions, and personal needs, as well as organizing coffee and donut runs to improve their morale and loneliness. He did not ask for gas fees or to be reimbursed for the special treats he purchased, such as candies and cookies. When the unit was under a period of flux with the general command, with a change in command, Master Corporal Snyder ensured anyone going into isolation or quarantine did not fall through the cracks and was supported. This is an extremely polite and kind-hearted individual that is willing to set everything aside and help someone in need, described by his supervisor as one of the most selfless and modest persons I have ever met. It's come to my attention since this that Master Corporal Snyder has actually been promoted to sergeant. So the presentation today will be to Sergeant BJ Snyder. And Sergeant Snyder, it is my pleasure to present you with this plaque, which I delivered to you last night. It is accompanied by a check for $1,000 that will be donated to the Barrie Food Bank as your choice of charity, and which you will present yourself later on this afternoon. I would invite you now to unmute yourself and say a few words if you wish.
Well, thank you very much. I was not privy to the nominating excerpt. In fact, I wasn't even aware that I was nominated. So I would like to thank you, the Rotary Club of Barrie, very much. I would like to thank my commanding officer, Major Gabrielle Van Rees, and whoever nominated me, if not my CO, but it sounds like it was written by her. And then, of course, my family for their persevering strength and the support I'm given by both my wife, who's also in the military, and of course my son. Without the strength and support I get from home, then I wouldn't be able to assist other people like I have been able to do. I'm very fortunate. It was kind of surreal hearing the nomination in your words, Mr. Cox. Simply because a lot of the stuff I wasn't quite aware that anyone would track, and that was never the intention. But it's so it was surreal. I actually I was a little emotional during your speech there. So again, thank you all so very much. I just look forward to your generous donation attributed to me to the food bank, and thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your service, and you'll notice the applause of our crowd, which if you were in the room, you'd hear. So congratulations. Thank you very much. Back to you, President Deb.
Thank you. Congratulations. That's a big award and quite an honor that we try to bestow, and so deserving. So congratulations, and hope you enjoy it. We have another award. Dan Mallory, I'm going to pass this over to.
Thank you, President Debbie. Everybody hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah, okay. Fellow Rotarians and guests, we are a club of volunteers. This is what we do. But there's a number of selfless other volunteers outside the club that the Vocational Service Committee wishes to recognize each year with our Volunteer of the Year Award. This year's very worthy recipient is Mrs. Frances Sampson, recommended by our Sandy Martin, and supported by a letter from Captain Andrew Watkinson. He's the pastor of the Barrie Salvation Army. And in his letter, he states that Mrs. Frances Sampson has volunteered at the Salvation Army in Barrie for over 15 years. Frances spends over 30 hours each week in administration, as well as other volunteer opportunities. Before the pandemic, she volunteered at the Salvation Army Bayside Mission, preparing meals for the residents and the vulnerable population, which we serve, and Rotary is involved in as well. During the pandemic, Frances has steered a telephone committee that reached out to the church family, and every month, and the committee completes over 300 calls, and Frances compiles all these lists and follows up with the people, as well as liaisoning with Captain Watkinson. He says Frances works tirelessly, and her aim is always to help others. Frances has received her plaque, and she's selected the Salvation Army as her charity of choice for the $500 check that goes with this award. And fellow Rotarians, I introduce Mrs. Frances Sampson, our recipient for the Volunteer of the Year award this year. And Frances, if you do want to say a few words, we'd be glad to hear from you.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a privilege is mine to be with you today. It is indeed a great honor to be nominated, and I'm very grateful to receive this recognition. I would like to thank all the people that made this possible. Salvation Army, Captain Andrew Watkinson, Sandy Martin, the Rotary Club. Again, thank you to each and every one of you, and God bless you all for all you do for the communities. God bless you all.
Yes, congratulations. Again, it's always special this time of year when it does take pretty much a whole year to go through the process of figuring out and selecting the award recipients. It's quite a big project to find the best worthy people that we can possibly find. So congratulations, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
So we do have a couple of announcements. I'm going to call on Kara. Where is she? There she is. Hi, Kara. I know I'm surprising you this early. Oh, she's on mute and she's in the car.
Unmute.
There.
All right, can you hear me now? I just had to pull over. I know you're tight on time, but I did want to give everyone, President Deb and fellow Rotarians, guests, it's my honor and privilege to announce today just the numbers. We'll do a real quick numbers rundown of the fun run. Huge support for us. I'm wondering, Jeff, do you have a poll that we could just really quickly throw out to people to just get an idea of what they might expect from the fun run?
I do. Let me put that up, Kara.
Okay, thank you. So shoot out what you think the fun run made. Go easy on us, second virtual year, but let's see what you guys think. What are the responses looking like for that, Jeff?
We're at about 73% of voted, so I'm going to close that down in a moment.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, I will share the results.
28, that's a great guess, actually. You guys are pretty close. So if you guessed A, $28,000, you are incorrect. I'm sorry to say. D, $36,000 is also incorrect, but I will have the honor of sharing the actual total with you guys being $40,000, $246.28. If you chose any of those, you were incorrect. $40,000. I can't express my gratitude to all of you for supporting this. We have an amazing club and we have lots to put into our community. And I'm thankful to be involved with such a great crew of people. Shout out to the team. That's it.
Awesome. Big congratulations. That's huge. Each year it gets better and better, and just love it. So congratulations to the whole team.
Absolutely. David's going to do amazing things with it too, given his background of running. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes and evolves from here. Anyways, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Now, I know we had a few things, so I don't know if Peter's still on side for his director's report or if I'm surprising him too much. I tried to reach you, Peter. Can you nod and just let me know if you're okay or not, or?
Oh, I'm great. I'm just not prepared for the director's report because of the email I received this morning from.
Okay, so we'll carry on here. Jody, do you want to give us a bit of an update on the Dash?
Thanks, President Deb. So I guess this will be the first fun opportunity that will happen for the club next year. The district has introduced the District 7010 Dash, and what it is a virtual race around 7010, which is our district, which essentially takes us from Peterborough to Val-d'Or, Quebec, which is the equivalent of 2,921 kilometers. What we're looking for are teams of 8, which includes a minimum of 1 Rotarian. Bragging rights is ultimately what you win, but the reality is the team that does reach that target first will receive 50% of the total funds raised for this to put towards an environmental project. So running is worth 5 kilometers for every one. Biking is worth, I think it's 2 kilometers for every one. It's all weighted throughout. Paddle boarding, I believe, is 10 to 1. So depending on your particular activity, obviously some have more value than others. So we'll get an email out to everybody. Let me know if you're interested. We can enter more than one team. President Deb and I have come up with a neat way to fundraise to support this, and we'll introduce that. So in the interest of time, we'll shut that down. You'll see an email shortly, and let me know if you're interested in it. Thank you. Thanks, President Deb.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I'm not sure if Rob is on. Here, these squares are getting a bit. So what we might do is just jump right into SAA. SAA, Eric.
Thanks, President Deb. I am pulling all my notes and stuff together. All right, let's see. Jeff in the background. Well, the big deal this week, and this will be no surprise to anybody, I don't think, is President's Bash is a week away. So why don't we pull that up? So you know it, it's next Friday. John O'Brien, I see him online today, has some amazing meal offers that are just awaiting you. We do have lots of good response coming in on meals and the country bumpkin peach tea. So please get online. I'll make sure we get the website into the chat. Somebody else can grab that for me if you find it before I go off SAA. But let's make sure we do that. Let's go to the next slide and take a look at some of those food options, Jeff. All right, so down in the lower right-hand corner is that peach tea. This is a freebie. This is a gift of the club. John has concocted a great beverage that is nice and clean, non-alcoholic, spikeable by you. So we do want you to go online, click on that picture, and you'll be able to reserve your portions while you're doing some other meal purchases as well. But you don't have to buy a meal to pick up a peach tea. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We do have some interesting surprises that we'll be unveiling over the course of the night. So please invite your spouse. You could. It'll be a family-friendly event if you want to have a couple of the kids around for a meal as well. And we won't keep you too late. So look forward to seeing y'all and celebrating an unusual year with an unusual President's Bash. You going to be there, Deb? Oh, good. You're muted. This is good.
Yes, I said, I think I'm going to be able to make it because, it's the same Friday every Thursday for every President's Bash. So every
Right.
Rotarian should have that automatically saved.
We don't want to miss those. First hubby, Steve, you going to be there too? So he is. That's good. All right, let's go to the. There's a shot of a bunch of people there called the Barrie Innisfil Volunteer Awards. Jeff, do you want to pull that one up? Now, I'm not sure that we have too many of these people here, but there are some familiar faces. So this is the Barrie Innisfil Volunteer Awards. A couple of faces there. I see a guy by the name of Todd Tuckey. See another one by the name of Marshall Green. I see a David Blencarn there. They're all somewhat familiar to us. President Deb, we're seeing Rotarians being recognized. What do you think about that?
Well, it's great. It's wonderful that they're being recognized. Do find that Rotarians volunteer even outside of Rotary. So yeah, great. Congratulations. And yeah, some familiar faces there.
What do you think is a reasonable expectation from people who are obviously celebrating these this nice press? It could be making sure that they've got some meals purchased for the President's Bash. I'm not sure what else we've got out there that they could be supporting.
Well, definitely. Well, I think with Marshall and Dave, because I do believe you have another slide, so we can do a double doozy someplace, right?
We do. Which one are you thinking on?
Well, I'm thinking Marshall and David, they should definitely be making the President's Bash. If they are not making the President's Bash, that's a huge faux pas. And that would require a huge donation to Rotary. So Marshall, are you coming to the President's Bash?
President Deb and Sergeant Arms Eric, I am already signed up. I've got my meal ordered and my special drink. But I'll tell you, I'm still sitting here trying to figure out if it's a good thing or a bad thing to be in the same rogues gallery as Todd Tuckey. I'm about that.
Wow, that's good. So I think $10 then. I think you're getting off pretty light. And Dave, I don't see him on, so we'll pass on. Is Dave Blencarn on?
I don't think Dave Blencarn is on.
Okay, so we'll pass on to him that he owes us $10.
That sounds pretty good. Let's see. Did I see RF and Mallory on? I see Mallory. I've got a shot there. You see a cute kid shot there, Jeff? So this one was passed along to me, and it's kind of a multiple piece. So maybe Mallory could explain this one to us. It looks like a new property, but maybe not the new property that others may have seen on social media. Tell us a little bit about this one, Mallory.
Hi, SA Eric and President Deb and the rest of the fellow Rotarians. I guess there's not enough room in the house for Mia, so she gets her own house, but I blame Carrie Thornton for this one. I'm not sure who had the bigger smile on their face, if it was Carrie and Matt when they got their Traeger or Mia when she got that box from their Traeger.
Well, that's an interesting note. So Carrie, I see you're online as well. You might want to unmute. Tell us about a Traeger. Isn't it almost as much as a car?
It costs more than my first car, that's for sure. And then you start adding the accessories and the huge meat bells. It's definitely more than most people's cars. But as I said earlier, and I think a lot of people still weren't online, we had a choice. We either had to get a Traeger or stop being friends with Paul Markle. So Paul won this time. If they come out with a bigger Traeger, I don't know if Paul would make it through the cut next time because we can't afford a better Traeger. So, and the box was really cute. So reached out to everyone with little kids to see if anyone wanted it. They make this cute little playhouse already inside the box. So when you turn the box inside out, it's a cute little playhouse. So
Nice. President Deb, like I literally, a good shout out to Carrie here. I can't be participating in a fine to Carrie because she's doing the bulk of the work on President's Bash behind the scenes. So she's off for good behavior in my opinion. I did hear her throw Markle under the bus for his offline sales at Traeger. Mr. Markle, are you getting kickbacks from Traeger?
President Deb, listen, I apologize, but I can't take a fine for this. This is totally Todd Tuckey's fault. He's spent more time pressing briskets out to people and enticing them that I had to buy one. And I have a little guy like mine. I can barely do like 6 burgers on it. Todd and Carrie can do 200 sausages on theirs. Have you seen the size of the thing? It's crazy. So I clearly can't afford a fine because I can't afford a machine like them. So, but Todd can certainly afford the meat as well as the fine. So line them up.
Okay, I saw that pass over to Todd there, President Deb. Did you want to take a run at Todd now? I know you wanted to get one more stab at him before the end of your year.
Oh yeah, I want to save up the extra one too. So I know there's more coming. So we'll just keep adding this to the fine and on a doozy.
President Deb, I just want to mention that you could probably fit Carrie's Traeger in Todd's new Lincoln, and probably his in there as well with the legs on. It's huge.
Okay, this is getting even bigger. So, and being that Carrie's, working on the President's Bash, I'm not, I'll probably give her $5. So
thank you, President Deb.
But Paul, I don't know. I think you're getting wrapped into this. So I think you're good for at least $5.
I will gladly take $5 if you can ding Tuckey for winning the 500 million or whatever he won and only getting charged $10 and then nail him on the other things. I will gladly take that fine.
Okay. And question, are you going to be at the President's Bash?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good answer.
All right. Let's see now, President Deb. I'm taking a look through my backup slides. So we haven't got Mr. McCullough on the line.
Yeah, we've got a video for.
Good. Okay. So why don't I pass it back to you for director's report?
Okay, sounds good. So we do have a director's report. We will just run that. Jeff, can you run that for us?
President Deb and fellow Rotarians, I'm pleased to present to you my report on community service for 2020-2021. I wanted to start by introducing our committee. I'm so very impressed with this group, and they've really shown me what it takes to be a Rotarian. The 87% attendance was impressive, but the 100% participation was even better. I speak so highly of all these people, and thank you so much for all your efforts. Our mandate this year was to support individuals who are suffering from COVID, directly or indirectly, mental health issues as a result of COVID, and any hands-on projects that come our way. And I think we were able to fulfill all of these. Our budget this year was $25,000 from public funds. We also applied for a grant through the Barrie Community Foundation. They received funds from the federal government through their Emergency Community Support Fund. Our application for $20,000 was successful. We also received $800 through a district grant. Through the Rotary Club of Barrie Charitable Foundation, we received $3,400. And through various partners and different fundraising, we received another $15,000. So about $64,000 total is what we raised. We spent them in the following 3 categories. First is individuals. We fulfilled 15 of these requests for a total of $19,000. Not-for-profits, we fulfilled 16 requests for a total of $24,500. And we had 3 hands-on projects that totaled about $20,000. Dollar-wise, the most significant was the gift card initiative, which we're going to see. The year actually started out quite slow. we didn't, for the first about 3 months, we didn't get any applications come in. So instead, what we decided to do was reach out to different organizations. So we built this trusted referral source list that we can use going forward. As far as individuals go, most of the requests that we had came from these referral sources. We provided gift cards, transportation, rent arrears, furniture bank invoices. We helped a family who's dealing with cancer. And right now we're in the process of helping a young man who needs a prosthetic leg. This is presented by Catherine Elphick. And I think it's a great initiative if we can get involved. We're waiting for board approval, which is going to happen in another week or so. Many of these had a connection to COVID. And although they're not that flashy, I'm not going to go into all that into a lot of depth with them. I think we had some success here. The not-for-profits we helped. Here's some images of them. The two that I want to start with are the Legion and the Salvation Army. The Legion, we helped with the Poppy Fund, and the Salvation Army Bayside Mission, we helped with the Kettle Fund, both of which were reduced because of COVID. Our committee partnered with the Rotary Club of Barrie Charitable Foundation and Howard Chuck Strong to raise about $4,000 in support of Christmas cheer. Youth Reach was one of our recipients, which is an organization that lost their funding and their main fundraiser. Ontario Musicians Cooperative was a group where we paid for the materials to build a subfloor to construct a stage in order for their musicians to perform virtually. I Read Canadian, we purchased flags for their I Read Canadian Day back in February. And Rainbows, we provided some funding and we received this from them. We have been able to host several virtual and a few socially distanced Rainbow programs. Please pass our thanks along to the Rotary membership. We have heard from the children and youth. We have helped over the last several months the additional stress that COVID and its restrictions have had on them. And from one of the facilitators, they had this to say about a young boy, 7 years old, whose father recently died. He was very concerned about COVID and struggling quite a bit. He had overwhelming emotions, and because of this group, because of being able to meet virtually, he became engaged with the other children, fully engaged, and they were able to address some of the topics that he was struggling with. Our first of the hands-on projects was Cookies for Frontline Workers. We wanted to show our support from the club. So with the help of John O'Brien and Wildwood Hospitality and our little group there, we delivered about 800 cookies to the COVID testing centers in Barrie and Roberta Place. This was a great little initiative. Second of our hands-on projects was a Rotary gift card initiative. This started in March and it's still ongoing. Our mandate for it was to support those who have lost their job or had a shortage of work due to COVID. To date, we've distributed about 300 cards and among many different businesses and industries. We have about 100 more to go. We're just waiting for the cards to arrive, and then we're going to again reach out to organizations to see if they're interested. If you have any names, we're still happy to take them. Supported about 50 different businesses. The businesses were very gracious to receive the cards. I think we had some fellowship among Rotarians, which is always good. And we had some great social media coverage too. Here's some images from Facebook. And one comment from one of our distributors: you can imagine how a waiter or a line cook in a restaurant reacts when someone remembers and appreciates the stress and uncertainty that the last year has brought to them. The food service and personal service industries have been hit hard not only by layoffs, but by the uncertainty of slowdowns and lockdowns that get announced almost daily. As one Rotarian delivered 2 such coupons to 2 restaurant workers just before they were laid off, I can tell you that the smiles on these 2 young men's faces were worth a lot more than the club paid for those coupons. Our third hands-on project was the community garden. The idea started in our first meeting from Sandy Martin, and we addressed a bunch of different things. We decided to do, we did a bunch of planning in the fall. Earl Graham ran some irrigation lines for us to the property. It's located out on Miller Drive, and in the late April and early May, Bernie Still got involved in the cultivation and getting all that going and getting the seed going. We started planting in mid-May. You can see the top picture there is our group of our planters. Since then, we have been watering and doing a bit of weeding. The harvest was going to be delivered to Barrie Food Bank, Women's Shelter, and Redwood Park communities. And if you're looking to get involved in this, we're more than happy to take some assistance. If you do, it's been a great project. You can help with watering, which is a nice, relaxing thing. Please get a hold of Bernie Still. With that, I thought I'd take you on a little tour of the garden. So here, the first 6 rows are potatoes, and they're all coming in quite nicely. Looks just fantastic. Coming up on the right there, you see zucchini coming in, and we have cucumbers that are also coming in. On the left, you see the tomatoes and the garlic that are coming in. We have they're in the same row, the tomatoes and garlic mixed in together. We're going to take a little turn here, and you're going to see 2 rows of onions that are coming in quite nicely. And then these last 3 rows, you're going to see carrots, beets, and squash. It's a little hard to see, but they're coming in. My kids have been involved in this project, and it's just been great for them to see it grow and for them to be a part of it. It's nice. It's nice for me to see. The next few rows here, beans, peas, and rutabaga to wrap things up in our 5,000 square foot garden. Well, that's it for me. I want to say thanks, especially to my committee for all their hard work. And I also want to say best of luck to Catherine Elphick, the incoming director. I think maybe some of the areas where I wasn't as strong, she's just going to knock it out of the park, and she's going to have a great year. Thanks very much.
Wow, that's incredible, Chris. It's amazing that that was only a 1-year report. I think what you and your team have done is more like 3 years. So congratulations. It was an awesome year. It was a crazy year, but it's amazing what you guys accomplished. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Thanks, President Deb. It was a real team effort. Thank you very much.
So we're going to start with our speaker a little bit early, and I will introduce Steve to come over and introduce our speaker. Here he comes.
Oh. There we are. That's better.
He's a little taller than I am.
Every day a little shorter too. However, good afternoon to everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce Janice Scott, who has over the last 15 years, as we know, run the Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre. There are too many accomplishments here to list, but I'm sure she will be able to share some of those with you. And of course, hopefully a vision as to what's going to happen going in the future. President Deb and I have had the fortune of knowing Janice both from a business and a pleasure standpoint. And we decided that today was a good day to share something personal on Janice. Janice works harder at her personal life than she does at RVH. Now, I had to battle that conflict when I was on the board and chair of the board for many, many years. And I must admit, I was not successful in changing her priorities. And thankfully, because Tessa, Tori, Alana, and Bryce are the beneficiaries of that commitment. Oh yeah, there's a gentleman by the name of Vic Scott. He, we all know of. He was also the beneficiary of that, but I think it was a bit of a good relationship between the two of them, because I know Vic was a big support to Janice as she continues to lead our health center going forward. I also have the privilege of introducing Pamela Ross, who is the new CEO of the RVH Foundation. In looking at this, I don't know why it took her so long to find the yellow brick road to Barrie, but I'm glad she finally did. And I'm sure we'll have some comments and some thoughts on what Pam is going to do going forward. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Janice, and I'm sure we're all interested in hearing what you have to say. Janice, thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Steve, for such a warm introduction. A little emotional as well, because I'm not as used to speaking about my family as I am about the Team RVH family. So good afternoon, President Deb, and I've waited a little while to say that more publicly, my dear friend Deb. So thank you for having us here today. Let me just begin, though, by thanking the Rotary Club of Barrie for their generous gift of $35,000 that I received yesterday from Gary Coop, past president, who was filling in for Deb. And this is your fulfillment of your pledge towards the Hearts and Minds campaign. So thank you so very much. I also, of course, want to add that Vic, fellow Rotarian, he does send his warm regards. As you know, he's on leave of absence right now. Also, before I begin, and it's always dangerous to mention names, but Rotarians have played such an important voluntary leadership role at RVH. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out and a thank you to David Blencarn, David McCullough, and now Steve Blanchette, who have been our 3 campaign chairs during the time I've been at RVH. Past board chairs, Don Pratt, Chris Garapi, Scott Elliott, and past foundation chair, Arlette Utton. You've all made such an impact on RVH, and we're just really grateful for your leadership and the time you've taken. And of course, past Foundation CEO Eric Dean. Eric, you've missed quite an interesting year. So let's go to the first slide, Kim. So President Deb, it is really such a pleasure to be back to Rotary Club Barrie again. And I do feel that between myself and Vic and other good friends, I am amongst friends today. When I last met with you, things have changed so dramatically. Really, Team RVH and the community have been through a very challenging time. The community, the province, the country, and the world, of course. And while we're not out of the woods yet, at least we have our sights on some positive news, maybe some light at the end of that very, very long tunnel. And of course, we're all tired and we're tested, but there is inspiration and comfort in looking ahead. There's a future and there's hope, and that's all there for us now. So that's why I'm so happy to be here today to talk about the future of healthcare here in Barrie, and of course, across the region. But before I do, I want to take some time to talk about Team RVH. What a courageous and dedicated team, and everything that they've achieved over the past year. Next slide, please. It has been a grueling year, and our hearts go out to those who have lost loved ones in this terrible virus. Yet, sort of amidst this tragedy, despite fear of their own safety and that of their families, Team RVH continues to show incredible courage, compassion, and commitment. Their work has been tireless. To begin with, we established an emergency command center. This is a command center I have the privilege of chairing. We've met since March of 2020, and in fact, we have another meeting later this afternoon. That's our way of responding to this emergency, which has gone on now for well over a year. We've also hired more than 350 additional staff, including screeners and immunizers, nurses, PSWs, cleaners, and infection control specialists. In order to address the pandemic, we've added 101 new beds in the health center, including our 70-bed pandemic response unit, which is our field hospital located in our parking lot. We opened screening clinics in Barrie and in Innisfil. We've expanded our lab capabilities to provide in-house COVID testing. We've introduced virtual visitation and pet therapy virtually, while our Blue Brigade, sadly, our volunteer program is temporarily suspended. We've supported almost 30 Simcoe Muskoka long-term care and retirement homes, including the temporary management of Simcoe Manor in Beaton. We've opened the region's first immunization clinic on Sperling Drive, which vaccinates up to 1,500 people each day. That's my plug for all of you to please ensure you get dose 1 and dose 2 as soon as you can. We've also accepted the transfer of over 200 patients from our overburdened GTA hospitals. And it's important to note that while we always knew we are capable of, I would say that RVH grew up in the eyes of the province during this pandemic because we're the third, we've actually received the third most number of patients of the entire province. We've developed complex surgical ramp down and once again ramp up plans to respond to our community need. So as you can see, the team has been extraordinarily productive and effective. And I will admit, they're exhausted, but boy, this team, it's got heart and it's got courage. And really, we continue to give everything we can for our community each and every day. So I'm so proud of the team. Well over 3,000 of them, close to 500 medical staff. And I'm really honored to work side by side with them. As if the achievements related to COVID weren't enough, this team did even more. Over the past year or so, we've made progress and care beyond COVID. And I'm going to give you some highlights of that important work. Next slide, please. We have a strategic plan or a roadmap at RVH we simply call My Care. It means every patient has the right to exceptional care every day, no exceptions. And it's a journey. I'm not suggesting that we're there, but certainly we're well on our way. So in this roadmap, we want to make sure that we have a future for RVH and that we can continue to provide care to our community. This year, we refreshed that plan following consultation with more than 600 people. Now, the strategies remain the same. They have been updated to reflect RVH's next priorities, which I have the privilege of telling you about. The plan also includes actions we will take to achieve our goals and how we'll measure our success. So we actually launched this plan in 2013, but it has been refreshed 3 times. It still resonates with everyone. And since 2013, more than 5,000 people have informed the plan, many of whom are in the club today. So let's go to the slide on advanced cardiac care. 24/7 STEMI slide. Team RVH expanded its advanced cardiac program, successfully rolling out our protocols for heart attack patients. This was almost the final stage of the cardiac program. We call that the code STEMI. So now paramedics from across our region, whether it be Simcoe or Muskoka, transport heart attack patients directly to RVH for intervention, bypassing their local hospitals. And as we've said often, you've heard, and I think Dave McCullough and others have said, time is muscle. So the sooner you can get to our interventional unit, the better your outcomes will be. And so this next step is a program that truly is saving lives across our region. Our heart program continues to expand. It's important to note that we recently welcomed a third interventional cardiologist. So that person became the 12th cardiologist that we have actually recruited. And I'm sure many of us remember when Barrie had one or maybe two cardiologists, including, of course, Dr. Brad Dibble, who's still with us. So there is a philosophy that is really important, and we see it over and over again. Build it and they will come. It happened in cancer care when Dr. Bryn Presnell was our sole oncologist. And of course, now we have over 20 oncologists working and practicing at RVH. Next slide, please. RVH, along with 3 partner hospitals in Collingwood, Midland, and Orangeville, are working together to transform our health information system. This is a transformational project. It will ensure that the patient records are available to all of our organizations because patients do travel between our organizations quite frequently. This will make it more seamless and the information will flow. What's most important, this project is actually a patient safety project. It gives our patients better experience and they won't have to repeat the same information over and over again, which again, unfortunately, I'm sure many members of the club have experienced. It's a massive undertaking anytime, but just add a global pandemic on top of it, it's unbelievable. Just to put it in perspective, we have hired 160 people to work on this project alone, as it impacts every process and workflow in 4 hospitals. We fondly call the project Care For, and I am pleased to let you know that it's going live on all 4 organizations at once on Saturday, September the 18th. This is truly a clinical transformation project. Next slide, please. So that's a very high-level look at how we've continued to move ahead while caring for our community and our region during the extraordinary difficult time of this pandemic. So let's talk about the exciting future, and I'm really excited to tell you a bit more about it. Our vision is to change the future of healthcare in Simcoe, Muskoka, and we are just planning to do that. I'm going to talk a little about the changes in our community, what's driving the need for another expansion, and of course, the innovation that's driving our plans. And then I'll have the privilege of talking a bit about the impact of this vision will have on our community and our health system. But first, I need to set the stage by describing RVH today. Next slide, please. As you know, we're a regional health center. In fact, more than half of RVH's patients now come from outside of Barrie. And many of them come, of course, for RVH's specialized care that isn't available elsewhere in our region. In these program areas, we are providing leading edge, world-class care. And thanks to you, over the years, the support of this club and others has helped make these programs a reality. Let's go to the next slide and look at today's statistics. I think these numbers just give you a sense of our size and our scope. RVH is the largest hospital between Newmarket and Sudbury. In fact, we log almost 500,000 patient visits each year, with almost 85,000 emergency department visits. The health center has many academic partnerships, including, of course, the University of Toronto. Our family medicine teaching unit trains family physicians in their final 2 years of residency. But in fact, we train close to 1,000 students each year, from doctors to nurses to physiotherapists, lab technologists. The list is very, very long. In short, we are Central Ontario's most advanced health provider, offering the greatest range of care right here at home. We all know, however, the region is changing. It's growing, and the demands on our system are certainly increasing. Next slide, please. So our expansion that we're planning currently is really driven by population growth. Our projections see the population of Barrie, Springwater, and South Simcoe County nearly doubling over the next 20 years, with 173,000 new residents. So our total population, well over 350,000, will be equivalent to London, Ontario. And London has 2 very large hospitals, with several sites throughout that city. Actually, it's hard this week, though, to mention London, Ontario, without just pausing for a moment to just reflect on the horrible hate crime that took place there last weekend, and our hearts go out to the families and to the Muslim community. So remember that these projections, though, were actually derived before the pandemic occurred. And whether you're in real estate or selling your home, you know that many people are leapfrogging over the areas just north of Toronto to come here to relocate. So we actually now believe these population projections could be quite conservative. Next slide, please. In addition to population growth, though, we also have an aging population. We're growing our seniors at a faster rate than the provincial average. So in 25 years, Simcoe County will have over 107,000 more seniors than it does today, making up almost 30% of our population. Well, that's important for a hospital because seniors use hospital services on average 4 times more frequently than the rest of the population. And that accounts for about half the province's healthcare budget. So the impact is going to be enormous. Next slide, please. Not only is the region's population growing and aging, but simply we aren't as healthy as the rest of Ontario. Our population tends to have a few more unhealthy habits, higher rates of smoking, drinking, and obesity. And we know that so many of our chronic diseases are driven by smoking, drinking, obesity, a lack of exercise. But as long as we have those statistics, unfortunately, it means the impact on a hospital is going to be even greater. And we also know that changing these habits, any one of us knows as we try to change our habits, they take a long time. To actually see an impact demographically and how we care for people, it's decades. So we know the impact of the health of our residents today will have a negative impact or an increased demand for many, many years in the future. In fact, almost 45% of our residents have chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, or respiratory illnesses. And in fact, 1 in 5 of our residents throughout Simcoe Muskoka have multiple chronic conditions, all of which has a huge impact on our ability to provide healthcare. Next slide, please. So these are trends. They could be population growth, it can be aging, or it can be what we call the social determinants of health. They're not new. We've talked about them before, and they will take some years to respond to. And in fact, we began responding just about 9 years ago with your support in this club and so many others. We doubled the size of RVH. We brought comprehensive cancer care closer to home. We added 101 beds, introduced 77 million in new equipment, increased emergency services and imaging, just to name a few of the highlights. And after the expansion in 2012, we immediately started to plan for 2 critical programs that people were still traveling for: advanced cardiac and child and youth mental health programs. Neither of these programs were available to our region previously, and both were made possible because of the community support, such as this club. And when I just stopped to think of how this ties into the pandemic, whether or not there is a wave 4, a different type of wave 4 will come, and that is the impact that the pandemic's had on all of our mental health. And whether it's the youth who are really dealing with increased number of eating disorders, or whether it's us as adults and some of those conditions that have just been exacerbated through this pandemic, we do know that providing these services close to home is so important to our region and will be even more important as we see this pandemic subside. So there has been a lot accomplished, but as always, there's still more to do. Next slide, please. Our vision at RVH is to build a healthcare system across the region. This system will have the services and beds we need to take care of our growing population and our aging population. We'll also have advanced technology, and we're going to need that if we're going to continue to offer world-class care right here at home. We're going to combine space and technology to build the hospital of the future. So our plan is to double the size of the existing Georgian Drive site and build a new site in rapidly growing South Simcoe. We have 2 committees to do this. One is our capital planning committee that is being led by our vice chair, Doug Frost, but we also have a South Campus site selection committee, and it's chaired by our current chair of our board, Charlotte Wallace. I'd also like to recognize your Rotarian, Chris Scarapy, has once again joined the committee to bring his expertise as we try to determine the best site for our South Campus. Next slide, please. So our approach to achieving our vision is phased over 20 years. Our two-campus integrated model addresses current capacity challenges as well as future population demands. With this staged approach, we can secure approvals in a reasonable timeframe, begin providing services as quickly as possible, and increase the likelihood of approval through manageable, discrete stages. So this is our graduated model, and our first step of our graduated model occurs when we begin providing a range of adult and child outpatient services in Innisfil's new Rizzardo Health and Wellness Center. And we've been there now for over a year. Two reasons for that. One is we took many people off the highway, brought care closer to home, it was safer. But RVH also put its flag in the sand and said to the residents of Innisfil, based on the number of people who come here for care already, we are your regional health center and we're going to build a facility here. And then next we begin to renovate and develop spaces in the current facility. When we opened in 2012, anticipating the population growth, the government allowed us to include some empty shelled spaces. Of course, at first we used one of the shelled spaces to advance our heart program, but also now, of course, we're continuing to build on those new spaces. And this is the first place we have to go responsibly. They've already been built or shelled in. Now we need to fill them out and receive government funds to operate them. So within 10 years, we will also complete an inpatient tower on our current campus. This tower actually puts our current building almost in as a shadow, but it is 9 stories and it has a number of beds as well as, of course, significant advanced surgical services. Now, at the same time, in parallel, we're going to construct a South Campus Health Hub in Innisfil or in South Barrie. And we're going to focus on outpatient services and urgent care center. That's because we really believe that government is, at this point, far more interested in developing health hubs as opposed to inpatient beds. And while we haven't finalized the location of the new South Campus yet, our site selection committee will narrow down the list of potential sites in the very near future, and we will be able to make that announcement, we hope, by the end of the year. So those are the phases which we've submitted already a pre-capital document to the provincial government. In fact, it went out in January of 2020. We've had feedback, we've answered questions, and we're just waiting for that next stage, which would be another stage submission before we can move it forward. Now, when we think about the South Campus and that graduated model, after the health hub and the urgent care center are opened, we do plan to add inpatient beds at the South Campus, such as seniors care or rehab, which aren't dependent on a 24/7 emerge department. But as Innisfil residents will tell you, and those who live in South Simcoe, everyone has their eye to developing a full service acute care hospital over the next 20 years. Now, the North Campus expansion is broken down into a pre-tower and a tower phase, and it will actually double the size of the health center yet again. So the pre-tower phase, oh, Kim, you need to keep advancing the slides, please, and thank you. All right, so there we go. So now we're at the North Campus. So the pre-tower phase will see significant renovations and expansions throughout the health center, such as critical care, maternal child, cancer clinic, mental health, and outpatient clinics. We'll also expand our non-clinical building called Rotary Place, just to free up space for patient care in the main building. Thank you, Kim. And you can click to then move to the tower phase. There it is, green. And the construction of this 9-story tower, as I mentioned, approximately 800,000 square feet of new space, including beds and expanded surgical services. There'll be a comprehensive parking strategy will be developed separately. And the pre-tower and the tower phase will happen within 10 years from approval between its North and South Campus. When we finish, RVH will have a total of 943 inpatient beds. So Kim, are you moving on to the South Campus now for some slides? Or have we been through them? I think we're driving from 2 different locations, President Debs. You have to be patient with us. I've mentioned the Health Hub and its urgent care center, so you can click again. Thanks very much, Kim. And then within the 15-year period, we are going to add the inpatient unit beds. And those are the ones that aren't dependent on emergency department, as I mentioned. And then of course, click again, please, Kim, and there we are, the full service acute care hospital with a 24/7 emergency department and operating rooms after the 20-year period. So at maturity, the South Campus will house 285 inpatient beds and includes space for our partners so we can better coordinate care. So the model you see here is set out on sort of a generic piece of property, but as I mentioned earlier, we will have a final site before the end of the year. And we'll be announcing that with excitement to all communities, of course, those particularly in South Simcoe. Next slide, please. Thanks, Kim. So the cost of construction continues to escalate, and our vision will require a capital investment of more than $2 billion. Now, the Ontario government continues to provide about 90% of that investment, but that requires RVH to fund the remaining 10%, or $200 million. Our funding strategy will see us secure funding in a number of ways. We are going to be asking our municipal and regional governments to continue to support our growth, as well as the partner and leaders in supporting the wellness of our region, our province, of course. And of course, we look to the important relationships we've developed over the years with our many clubs, including the Rotary Club of Barrie. And at the heart of our progress and every turn, it has been our community that has really been there to understand the importance of our growth, why we're continuing to move forward, and to help us in any way that they can. Theirs has been an investment from the heart and one that we can sincerely treasure. So with that, as Steve said, we're really pleased to have our new CEO of our foundation here with us, Pamela Ross, and I'm really pleased to turn the presentation over to Pam at this time. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Janice, and thanks to all of you for welcoming me to give my first presentation to the Rotary Club of Barrie as CEO of RVH Foundation, though it was my pleasure to have joined you as a guest of Dave McCullough in March. As Janice's presentation makes clear, the vision for changing the future of healthcare in the region is truly an ambitious one, and it needs to be, for the community and for each one of us and the ones we love. As you know so well, RVH Foundation, with the community behind us, has a history of success in not only reaching our campaign goals, but in exceeding them. And as Janice has just outlined, this time our goal is historical in its ambition. And so to succeed, we need to build on the remarkable strengths of our past, but also reach out far beyond what we ever thought was possible. Next slide, Kim. So the foundation of the Moments Matter campaign is really driven by three priorities. The first is for us to reach far into our community, especially our longtime friends, including Rotarians like you, who are our closest friends. And Janice spoke in detail about how our community is changing. So we really have to connect with new residents and with seasonal residents who more and more are spending greater amounts of time here. So our job will be to motivate our community to act on our behalf. So to do that, we'll tell the RVH story to make clear the profound impact that this vision will have on the quality of our lives. And we'll ask our community to take an active part in achieving this vision for themselves and for those who they care about. The next driver for us will be to inspire our supporters to invest in us in levels that they may not have thought possible. We're going to bring to the region world-class care that will be made possible by the most advanced equipment in state-of-the-art facilities, and it will absolutely be game-changing. Investments that donors make in this vision together will have a life-changing impact for every person in our community. And third, you know, when we give, we want to know we're making a real difference in the lives of other folks. And we want to know that we've made an impact that's meaningful. So our aim is to enrich the lives of our donors by making it possible for them to change lives in such a fundamental way. And it's through that experience of giving, of having that profound impact that our donors will inspire them, we think, to remain donors for a lifetime. So these are the three drivers that will guide the campaign and everything that RVH Foundation does through the period of the campaign. And these are our promises to our donors and to you, our longtime supporters. Next slide, Kim. So of course, we know that exceptional leadership is going to be key to achieving this vision. So our campaign is supported by the Foundation's Board of Directors with the strategies and the resources that we need to achieve our goals. As you know, the board includes community and business and political leaders from across the region. The campaign itself is led by two co-chairs who are familiar to many of you. Steve Blanchette, you might know him. I don't need to tell you that he is deeply involved in community building, and he's a member of the RVH Foundation Board. He's the former chair of the RVH Board of Directors. And Marianne Frith is a longtime philanthropist, business owner, and she's also a member of the RVH Board. And together, those two are a force of nature. You know, I would say that they're committed to achieving this historic vision, but really it's more accurate to say that they are obsessed. And we're so happy and honored to have them leading the campaign. Steve and Marianne, of course, are supported in their work by a large group of senior volunteers who make up our campaign cabinet. And many of our cabinet members are Rotarians themselves. So this is a remarkable group who know that this is a big job, bigger than we've ever done before, but who have taken it on with zeal, knowing that doing so is critical to the health of each one of us who call this region home. Next slide, Kim. So that is a very high level look at the campaign and the approach that we're going to take to secure the support that we need to make this vision a reality. And thank you very much, as I said, for having me here. I'm going to pass it over to Janice, who will have some closing remarks.
Thanks very much, Pamela, and for joining us and for moving to north of Toronto, going from the Danforth to Oro-Medonte is quite an experience. And we're really glad to have you, obviously. So President Deb, that really does conclude our presentation, other than again, offering on behalf of our patients who are entrusted to us today, but well into the future. We really are blessed to have the Rotary Club of Barrie's support, and we look forward to continuing that as we move forward. Always happy to answer any questions, President Deb.
Thank you. Yes, we have like 1 minute for a question. Did somebody have like a quick question to ask? But I know it's pretty hard to ask a quick question when there's so much going on at the hospital. It's crazy. Do I see any chats or hands there? Sue Croft, do you have a quick question?
Thank you so much, Janice, for such an informative presentation. Many residents in Barrie and Innisfil work and socialize in Toronto. So as part of your vision, in Rotary, we talk about engagement and you know, creating that engagement is so essential. Will you be working to create that sense of engagement to get better support from those individuals that perhaps don't have that sense of community?
Thanks, Sue, very much for your question. It's an excellent one. And as we were developing our master plan, which is really our system look at how we can provide care here at the North Campus and in our new South Campus, we undertook a vast consultation. In fact, I think the Ministry of Health would tell others we probably wrote the playbook for it. So we have over 26,000 interactions with people, social media, focus groups, surveys, website dedicated just to planning our future together. And so all of those individuals and clubs and groups now have an idea of where we're heading. And it was twofold. One is we needed to know what they wanted and needed, but also we really wanted to ensure that when it comes back to the province approving this, we're going to be able to go back to all of those people who know about our plan and ask them to advocate for it at the same time. So there is a fairly significant group still who might live in Barrie, but well, when they were working in Toronto, they may not have known as much about us until they have a crisis and then they need to find their way up the highway to RVH. So we've been working very hard at ensuring that this plan is well understood by the broader community because we're going to need their advocacy to actually get this done. So it's a great point, and we need to continue to support this plan and make sure people understand what stages we're at and why we need their help.
Thank you, Janice. I know there's going to be lots of questions, and you usually get. I know we could probably have another whole program of just ask Janice questions, but at this point, we're going to have Eric talk. I'm going to pass it over to Eric.
Thanks, President Deb, and thanks, Janice and Pamela for joining us today. Yeah, I have a bit of an inside perspective on how this has all come along, but I think what's really nice as a Rotary Club is for us to recognize that that all of this builds on past support, which kind of wins RVH the opportunity to keep on growing and earns the stripes that Janice talked about earlier with the province. So, you know, it's so nice to be able to see as a club the direct impacts that have come out of the past campaigns, out of Dave Blencarn's campaign and Dave McCullough's campaign, to see this happen. You know, Pamela mentioned the moments that matter, and you know, so on a personal reflection, Janice has heard this before, but when we moved Lorraine's parents up here 3 years ago, we couldn't have done that without the cardiac program. And their care here has been far greater than it was in Scarborough. And it is really the result of donors in a community that gets behind these projects. At this moment in time, Lorraine's dad is in surgical step down, approaching end of life. And, you know, those are the moments that matter. You know, if I think for each of us, if we reflect for a moment, we'll remember that at some point, RVH suddenly becomes the most important space in town. And we're in that space right now. So Pamela and Janice, thanks so much for coming out for the update. And President Deb, back to you.
Thank you. Yes. And yes, moments that matter. We have 8 grandchildren that were all born at the RVH. And so I have 8 moments right there. But we do have a special thank you, Janice, Pamela, for coming and joining us. You know, in appreciation of you being our guest speakers today. As you know, Rotary is this close to ending polio worldwide. We have donated 10 polio plus vaccinations in each of your names, as well as contributing towards the Rotary Polio Resource Centers, where they are helping to fight against COVID-19. So thank you so much for coming in and being part of Rotary. You know, both of you are welcome every week, all the time, and certainly love to have you come back very soon.
Thank you so much, President Deb, and for your leadership during this last year as well. What a challenging year to be the president of the Rotary Club of Barrie. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
everyone. Stay safe.
So, President Deb, Stronger Together, Together Inspired Moment. Jeff, we have a picture there. So it's inspired by Michelle Sullivan. She's certainly an interesting one if you want to Google her or hop onto the YouTube. But in this, it's monumental and sustainable change in our largest global challenges can only happen through partnership and collaboration between public, private, and nonprofit entities. This strategy resulted in the Caterpillar Foundation's transformation into one of the most influential corporate foundations, ultimately the launch of the foundation's collaborative impact platform. And their logo is Together Stronger. So this is awesome. We're right on at 1:30. Please stick around for a second. We are going to kind of end the meeting, but we're not ending the meeting, if that makes sense. So a quasi ding, but now we move into, we do have the Rotary Club of Barrie fishing derbies draw, and I'm going to pass it over to Wayne and Gary to just share with us what we're going to be seeing.
Thank you, President Deb, fellow Rotarians, guests. What we're going to do right now is we're going to have the draw for the 50 prizes plus the extra Family Day special prize done by Bell. Jeff, if you can put us down to Larry Pomfrey and Pam, they will start. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages and fellow Rotarians and guests, thank you very much for joining us at the first annual Barrie Rotary Club Ice Fishing Raffle. We're all here at the Royal Victoria Hospital, specifically at Rotary Place, constructed in 2012. And joining me today is Pam Ross from the Royal Victoria Hospital. Pam?
Thanks so much for having me, Larry, and thanks to everyone who participated in this raffle. We are so thrilled to have the support of the Rotary Club of Barrie through what's been a really difficult year. Everyone who's been involved in the raffle has been so creative and tenacious and continuing to fundraise to support the work of the hospital and the patients who count on us. So thank you.
And thank you. I can't think of a better cause at all in our fair city. Okay, so moving along, our first draw is going to be for an inverter/generator donated by our friends at St. Ange Recreation. It's got a value of $2,500. I'm not going to read out the key features because frankly I can't pronounce most of the words.
Okay, Larry, I'm just going to mix these up.
Transistor controlled something. Anyways, it's really cool.
All right.
So we're going to announce the numbers here. If your number corresponds with the name, then you'll be contacted about your glorious victory. Now, here to make sure, because I can't be trusted, I'm sure Pam can, but I'm not to be trusted. So past President Gary Kopp and almost past treasurer, Wayne Dennis, are here to make sure that there's no malfeasance. So,
Larry, I've pulled the first number.
First number is 200. All right. Our next draw is for a gift certificate for fine men's clothing from John McNabb, Rotarian John McNabb, worth $1,000. And that is not me. 158. That's the one that we all want. 158. Now, up next is from Pie Pizza, our dear friends there, a gift certificate for $500. And that goes to number 309. From Telequip, what number are you on? Number 4. Yep. From Telequip for $200, get together mini speaker. Telequip is Kelly Best in our club. 145 is the winner of that.
Thank you, Kelly.
The Barrie Baycats season pass from our friends at the Barrie Baycats. You know, I was always thinking they could use a 55-year-old left-handed reliever in the bullpen. So Millsy, you think about that when the training camp starts.
Here's our number.
And our number for the season pass of the Barrie Baycats, valued at $150, is 295. From Simcoe Building Center, a gift certificate in the amount of $100 is number 148. You keeping up there, Gary? Yep. And the ticket number was 148. So draw number 7. Duct cleaning for one house from Ontario Duct Cleaning in the amount of $350 is ticket 263. From Sherlock Holmes, the finest locksmith in town, a Helix 5 portable fish finder valued at $500, and the winner of that is ticket number 338. That was draw number 8. All right. For draw number 9, from Michael and Marion's, a gift certificate for a meal at Fine Food Dining in the amount of $100. The ticket is 166. From the locker room, valued at $100, with a gift certificate for a meal at everyone's favorite sports bar, and the ticket or the winner is 103. Draw number 11 is for a gift certificate for Good Times Bar and Grill, valued at $250 from our friends at Jack Astor's, and the winner of that is 071. Draw number 12 is from Joe's No Frills, a gift certificate for the grocery store, Joe's No Frills, is worth $100. And the winner is ticket number 294. Next up, draw number 13, lucky 13, from our friends at Donnelly's Irish Pub, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 107. And whoever wins that, get yourself some of the wings with the dry Cajun rub. It's absolutely delightful. From Blondie's Hair Studio. Hi Jeanette, hi Aaron. Gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 157. Draw number 15. The Farmhouse Restaurant has given us a gift certificate in the amount of $500, and the winner is 028. Draw number 16 from Grilicious Gourmet, a gift card in the amount of $250, and the winner is 236. Next up is draw number 17 from Jack Astor's Bar and Grill, a gift certificate for a Good Time Bar and Grill time for $100, and the winner is 264. Draw number 18 from our friends at Veta Nordic Spa, a gift card in the amount of $100, and the winner is 078. Our dear friends at Urban Dish have given us a gift certificate in the amount of $250, and the lucky winner is number 315. Draw number 20 is from Tiff's Restaurant and Bar, a gift card for $100, and the winner is 031. From Robinson Home Hardware, a gift certificate for $250, and the winner is 072. From Wildwood Hospitality, draw number 22 is a gift card for $1,000. I know, right? And the winner is not me. It's ticket number 300. We're now on draw number 23. From the Dunlop Street Diner, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is number 134. Oh, from one of my favorite restaurants in town, the North Restaurant, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 660. 660.
It's 099.
Ah! Upside down it's 660, but the winner is 099. So sorry about that. I thought that was a little high. I wasn't sure that you saw 600. Yeah, 099. You know, a way to solve that I've found is you put a little line underneath the 9 so you know which part's the bottom. Just saying for next time. Got it. Okay. From Fox's Bakery, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 251, or something else upside down. Number 26, the McDonald's on Bayfield, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 016. Either that or 910, but we'll go with 016 for now.
I think we've operated this one correctly.
Yes. Number 27 is a Jack Astor's Bar and Grill gift card. They gave us a whole bunch of gift cards. Thank you very much, Jack Astor's. For $100, and the winner is 089. For those of you who might be suffering with a little bit of sciatica like old Lars here, a gift card for the Cafe of Life Chiropractic in the amount of $250, and the winner is number 304. A great friend of Rotary Chelsea Chocolates has given us a gift card in the amount of $100, and the winner of that is a 178. Draw number 30. From Continental Specialties and Imports, a gift certificate for $100, and the winner is 256. 256.
I'm becoming quite professional.
I should say you are. A gift card from Cabela's in the amount of $300 is not me again. 297. 297. Thank you, Cabela's.
Do you have your number memorized?
No, actually I don't. So actually, I don't even have a ticket. I wasn't allowed to.
Right.
You know the thing, so that people are, again, I can't be trusted, so you never know. From Georgian Home Comfort, we're not new, it's just a new name, or something like that. A gift card for $500, and the winner is 352. Gift, or number 33, a gift certificate from Barnstormer Brewing and Distilling Company for $100, and the winner is ticket number 226. Oh, the next one is a photo shoot from our good friend Rotarian Louise Jones in the amount of $250. Superb photographer. She even made me look handsome once or twice. 261 is the ticket number. From Jimmy Choo's Pizza, and if you haven't tried it, you've got to try Jimmy Choo's Pizza. A gift certificate for $100, and the winner is, once again, not me, 310. From Kensington Burger Bar, and damn aren't they good. A gift card for $100, and the winner is 063. Draw number 37 for Hooligans Restaurant. A $250 gift certificate to ticket holder 370. We're just going to wait for a second. The bus is going by and it's making a lot of noise. How dare they? What's that number again? 370. Peace and quiet again. 370 was Hooligans. The winner of Bad Lucy Fried Chicken $100 gift certificate is ticket number 168.
What number are you on there, Larry?
I'm on draw number 39 coming up. From Stacked Pancake House. Don't know what means. $100 gift card, and the winner is number 217. What does mean? What's that? Okay. North Country. North Country, a gift card for $100 to number 324. And that's draw number 40. From 147, the Ristorante. Do you like the accent? Ristorante. A gift certificate for $100 to ticket holder 058. A gift certificate from Burger Royale in the amount of $1,000, which is a whole whack of burgers that I don't need, but they're delightful. Not every day though. The winner is ticket holder 085. Back to another gift card from Jack Astor's Bar and Grill in the amount of $100 to 020. Rotarian Carrie Thornton has a spa, and she's donated a $500 spa package to ticket holder 282. Wendy's restaurants, you know, with the red-headed girl with the pigtails. I understand the founder of Wendy's, Dave Thomas, that was his nickname for his daughter, actually, was Wendy. And that's who that picture is modeled after. Just a little fun trivia. That's what I do. A gift card for $100 to number 336. A gift certificate from Penny Abs at Carol's Hair for You. Excuse me, Carol's Hair for You. A gift card for $100 to 095. That was draw number 46 that we just did. From Bass Asselberg's Allendale Physiotherapy, a gift package for $250, and the winner is 046. Yet another bad back that doesn't get solved for me. The Queen's Hometown Pub and Club, draw number 48. For a $100 gift card, the winner is 165. Number 49, from Il Buco Ristorante. Again, the accent, right? For a $100 gift card, the winner is number 286. Now, our penultimate draw is number 50.
That's a custom jewelry.
It's a Jeff Walters jewelry, a gift card, very generous gift card of $2,500, and the number is 156.
But the catch-22 is you actually sit with him as a custom design.
So he'll sit with you, design exactly what you want, make it for you, up to a value of $2,500, so don't get crazy. And then you'll enjoy that. It'll be good not for you, but it'll be an heirloom that you give to your children and grandchildren. Now, 51.
Time out. I'm gonna wait for Janice to come down the draw.
Like an idiot, I haven't had a mask on up until now at the Royal Victoria Hospital, which, as you know, is the paragon of safety and smart thinking. So stupid Lars wasn't smart thinking. Anyways, Pam, thank you very much for your assistance with the first 50 draws. We've got one more, and I'm going to invite a very special guest, the CEO of the RH Regional Health Center, Janice Scott.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, while Janice, thank you for joining us.
So pleased.
Before we do the final draw, I do want to make sure that we recognize our sponsors. Rock 95, 107.5 Cool FM, Avetti, Sargents, Jeff Walters Jewelers, and Northern Plumbing. And finally, our title sponsor, sort of, but not really, but kinda, but our big sponsor is Bell. Thank you very much, Bell. So in tying in with the RVH Hearts and Minds campaign, this is related to the Bell Let's Talk Family Day draw, which we're doing now. We know it's not Family Day, we're not that stupid. And this is a $2,500 prize of fishing equipment, including rods, reels, tackle, tools, portable fish finder, waterproof case, tackle box to die for, and battery operated ice auger, plus Bell's Let's Talk tubes, $2,500 in value. So what's going to happen now is Janice is going to put all of the tickets that were previously drawn back in the draw. So everybody's got a chance to win this one.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. As always, I'm delighted to be part of a Rotary function. Rotary is a big friend of RVH, so thank you for that. And also want to acknowledge that as we're in this pandemic and trying to stay safe, but remember, the long tail on this pandemic is going to be about mental health. So our Child and Youth Mental Health Program, which is part of Hearts and Minds, are a huge recipient of today. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and all the patients we care for. Thank you very much. So back in the draw.
Yep. And Pam and Janice and everybody at RVH, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts and the top of our minds for the work that you're doing. We're very grateful, and you are the heroes of the pandemic. So, draw number 51.
Little drum roll, please. Thank you.
And the winner is ticket number 312. Could you show that to the camera,
I
please,
sure
Janice?
can.
Ticket number 312. Once again, everybody, that concludes our draw. Thank you very much to all the volunteers that are here. Thank you very much to the entirety of the RVH Regional Health Center. to our camera crew, and I would like to thank Amazon, who are the suppliers of my fish socks. I didn't win those in a draw. I had to actually pay money for them. Go figure. Anyways, folks, have a wonderful day. Have a magical summer. Stay safe, wear a mask, stop the spread, and have a wonderful day.
Well, I want to thank Larry Pomfrey and Pam, and of course Janice, for drawing all those wonderful tickets out. We will be matching it up with all the names and the prizes, and we will be contacting the winners. Gary and myself will. It was a great promotion. I'm going to let the bag out of the, let the cat out of the bag right now. We have raised about $12,500 from this little draw. Plus, we also got to keep everybody aware that we are looking after the ice fishing tournament on the ice. So I want to thank everybody. I'll go into more of that later on when we actually present. Back to you, President Deb.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a lot of work you guys have put in, and I know a lot of curveballs have happened with, can it be on, can it be off, can it be on the ice, what can be done? And you guys have just persevered through everything. So Wayne, Gary, your whole team, I know there's a number of you guys that have just really just hung in there and made it happen. So thank you so much. So now the official ending of the meeting. Having no other Rotary business, I declare this meeting adjourned. All right.